All right.
Stop
Everybody, welcome to the New Human Podcast.
And
Today,
I won't laugh.
yes, today we have Sandra Kay,
Yeah.
my dear friend, my teacher, mentor, a mother figure to me currently. She is in here today to tell her story. And her story as a healer, psychic medium, her awakening, everything that Sandra's went through in her long time here on Earth.
73 years.
73 years.
I
So
love 'em.
yeah, she teaches Reiki. She's the one that actually taught me Reiki. And actually, my wife met her to get a reading done on her mother when she had crossed over. So that's really how we got to know Sandra, was through my wife, Chelsea, getting a reading from Sandra on her mother that was on the other side. So there was that side of Sandra I didn't know. I'm just, well, Sandra's a psychic medium, she's, and then find out she does Reiki, and I'm like, I need somebody to teach me this, and here we are. So that is Sandra's quick little introduction in my words. But Sandra, I'd like to turn this over to you, with starting with, you said off air about 7 years old
Yes.
is when you started seeing things and gifts started to come online. Do you want to touch on that or go into start in there?
I don't think a lot of people realize people that get hit by lightning are waking up. And that's for a reasoning. I don't know exactly why the lightning part comes into people. But many people that get hit by lightning wake up. I got hit by dry lightning, which means it was no rain cloud. It just came in, and it was in the south. And they get a lot of dry lightning. And it hit me on the crown of my head. And they didn't think I was going to make it.
And you were 7 years old.
7 years old.
So at that moment, can you go back to that time when you got hit? What were you exactly feeling? Or did you just completely, like, was that it? Like, did you go unconscious, and did your heart stop beating, or?
My grandmother, just called her my mom again.
Yeah.
My grandmother was teaching me something about guarding. And I remember sitting there thinking, why do I have to listen to this? Because I was a kid. But then I would not listen. All of a sudden, lightning cracked. I heard it cracking, and it came down and hit me. And when I woke up, I was in the hospital.
But you don't remember anything from the time the lightning hit you on the head to waking up in the hospital?
No,
Nothing.
nothing.
What about now that you're this age now and you've went, quite many years? Do you have any glimpses, or do you catch anything that happened during that time when, you got hit?
Yes.
Yeah.
I can go back and see the whole thing like I was watching it. And the lightning, when it hit, there's no way they thought it was going to hit a short little 7-year-old when there was a tall woman standing there, because it usually goes to the tall thing. And when it hit me, I watched myself go to the ground. I watched my grandfather come out of the house, and he picked me up, and Grandma drove us to the emergency room. And they said they had something on my heart, and they was making me jump. And then they said, burned my scalp so bad that we don't know if she'll make it. And so I woke up the next morning because I heard somebody yelling, "Get up." And it was my guide.
Yeah.
And I met my guide.
For the first time.
Second time, which at first time I didn't really realize who he was.
Right.
And his name is Thor.
Okay. And at this time, which is funny because you got struck by lightning, and Thor, the god of thunder and lightning.
Probably did it.
Wake up.
That's what he said to me. You wake up.
Yeah.
And I just sat up in the hospital bed, and the doctors came in, of course, and they said, she's nothing wrong with her. Watch
Nothing.
her over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Something changes. And
What'd Grandma then think after you waking up? And I mean, did you tell her about this guy, Thor, you had met?
I told her twice. The first time I met Thor, I was combing my hair that summer in the bathroom, and he was in my mirror, and I thought there was a man in the room. And I ran downstairs, and I told my grandma, I says, there's a guy in the bathroom named Thor. And she said very calmly, "Oh, that's just your guide. Go get a carrot." And I thought, okay.
Yeah, yeah, no, just your guy, no big
Yeah,
deal.
get a
So
cake.
so this was normal for grandma?
Yes,
Okay, and grandma,
was a
she
medicine woman,
medicine woman, she was Native American?
Cherokee and Irish,
Okay,
and my grandfather was Cherokee and Apache.
okay. So that's where you get
Yeah,
your blood from, your roots
yes,
from.
yeah, and my dad was, German. So,
Gotcha.
I think I always call myself a Heinz 57.
Yeah.
I think everybody is now.
Yeah, we're all kinda mutts, aren't we? That's what I call them.
Oh my god,
We're mutts, you know,
that's
blends of
cute, that's
different.
cute.
It is, yeah. But it's neat because, it's neat to hear, the Native American way,
Mhm,
and I've read a few books that you've gave me, and just their culture is, I don't know, it really resonates with me, how just connected they are to everything.
and to everyone.
And to everyone, yeah. And grandma, so when you were 7, that happened. Was grandma teaching you these ways?
She was teaching me the medicine
Yeah.
that she was growing, and I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
But I was 7, and I went and spent my summers with her. N I didn't realize why I spent my summers until quite later in life, and that was because her daughter that gave me life had died when I was born,
Okay.
so she had a massive stroke.
When you were born.
Yeah.
So who raised you then?
Her sister Lois, which
Okay.
is known as my mom and dad,
Okay.
and I was so lucky. Everybody wanted me. I never had any regrets,
Mhm.
and I've always thought that way. I thought grandma wants me, mom and dad wants me, Uncle Louis wants me, which was my dad's brother, which was my dad.
Mhm.
They all wanted me, so wasn't I lucky?
Mhm.
Yes, I've always thought about that way.
Right.
But I didn't know till I was 40 that that Lois and Pete was not my mom and dad.
Did you at that time, I mean, that's quite a big age to find out, like, they're not your mom and dad.
Mhm.
Were you upset at that time, or did you not care?
No, because I had the same feel that's where that feeling came from. I was lucky.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted me. They didn't treat me no different. I did just as much work as everybody else on the
Yeah.
farm. The only thing I got to do, I understood why I went to grandma's every summer.
Mhm.
I never understood why nobody else went. And mom would always say, "You act like her." Is
Mhm.
that bad?
Mhm. To learn from your grandma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I learned medicine way.
Mhm.
And grandpa was a shaman.
What did he all do,
Oh
grandpa?
my God.
Just amazing
He
healings
was
and
he was he always had somebody with him, which was quite young, and he was teaching them the way. And I always wondered why he always had these young, good-looking guys with him. I
Mhm.
was young. I thought
Yeah,
they were
checking them
good-looking.
out. You're young, they're young.
I thought they're good-looking.
So, were these guys that were going to your grandfather, were they, like, white men
No,
or no, they were.
they were of the nation.
Oh, they were of
Yeah,
Cherokee
they
Nation.
always had to be from the nation, and
Okay.
they had to work their way up to get to go and spend time with. But they
Really?
spent close to 30 years training off and on during that year with him. And I never knew for sure why until later in life.
What was do you know what he was all doing?
He was teaching them why they went up to the mountain and they talked to the trees. And the truth is, I don't know everything he did because he never took a woman.
Mhm.
And it's just something. m- It was the woman was the boss of the Cherokee Nation, and
Mm,
that's just the way it was. And the woman never went with him
mhm.
ever.
Yeah, that's very. I've noticed that now, I guess, me diving into a little bit of Native American
Hmm.
culture, that they're accepting women more, like even sweat lodges, probably during your grandpa's time, women weren't allowed to be in a
No,
sweat.
no.
It was only a man thing, and I experienced one a few months ago, not too far from here, and there was, it's about equal, about 50-50 women and men. And going into our mutual friend Jim Graywolf,
Yeah, I
he
love
writes
him.
about that in his book too. Even in, I think it was like mid '90s, he was out in Colorado and working with the Lakota out there, and it was the same thing. Even white men, they was kind of forbidden to go into a sweat. And then they started to want it to branch out and like, "Hey, we gotta start switching our ways up because this needs to be for everybody."
Yeah.
And, white man started to come in, and then pretty soon women started to come, and then it was just I mean, every race and every sex, was coming to a sweat.
And see, and I never got to go and sweat with my grandfather, and I always wished I would have got. Wouldn't that have been amazing for
Mm.
me?
It
It
would've.
was not allowed, and I didn't get to.
Yeah.
He had passed on
Mhm.
by the time I could have,
Mhm.
and grandma explained it to me. That's not what your job is.
Right.
And she always called it. I said, "Well, what is my job?" And she said, "The healer. You're a healer. You will learn to heal."
At what age were you when you heard those words?
When I was 8 or 9,
8 or 9, you were a
yeah,
healer.
yeah. She says, "You are here to heal and
Mhm.
help people realize why they're here."
How did that make you feel at 8 or 9?
How am I going to do that?
Mhm. Yeah, because 'cause you're still playing, you know what I
That's
mean?
what I said. "What do you mean? How am I going to do that, Graham?"
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
she said, "You will. Now keep learning from me."
Mm.
And everything I thought was boring wasn't in the end.
Yeah, how long did you learn from grandma? I mean, how long was grandma around?
To 84.
How old were you then?
I don't know. Take it away from my
Well, I'm saying when did grandma leave,
no,
Earth? Was she like you were like 30, 40, or were you
yeah,
20? Yep,
yes.
right around 30,
She
40?
I she was here when I learned that Betty was my mom.
Okay.
She was here because she came,
Mhm.
and she said and I asked her, "Why didn't you tell me? And you told me everything else." She says, "It wasn't time for you to learn."
Mhm.
And I respected my other daughter. She didn't want you to know because she loved you that much.
How was, her other daughter in this whole awakening for you and being struck? Was she a medicine woman too, or
I
was
always thought my mom was a medicine woman. I
Mhm,
always thought that she had something going on, but she hid it so well because she wanted what she called her family to have a normal life.
mhm.
Don't let
She didn't wanna feel like an outsider.
right.
Mhm,
And she worked for the state for abused children. And she says, "I can't bring this in my life."
mm.
And she didn't. That and she would always say, "You're just like your grandmother. Go spend the summer with her."
So she knew too. Did she have a good relationship with her mom?
Oh God, yes, they
Yeah,
loved each other
good.
so much.
Wow. Where was this at then?
Maryville, Missouri.
Missouri.
Misery.
Misery.
Grandma always called it misery, but
Oh,
grandma was originally from York, Georgia.
okay. That's what I thought. Cause Cherokee, I thought was like Southeast United
Yeah.
States.
But when they moved them Trail of Tears, they all got scattered all over the place.
Mhm.
And grandpa came from the Navajos over there on that side, and he came over that way, from that way. And how they ended up together, I'll never know.
Right. Quite the story though.
Yeah.
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 So fast forwarding from that, then you're moving into your family, your own family. Can you touch on any, I mean, short version of milestones or challenges or things you learned while you were raising your children and going
I
through
went to
that?
I went to college to learn to work in the groceries business
Mhm.
and to be bookkeeper.
Mhm.
And I had to keep my nose clean. To me is what I think people are doing, keeping their nose clean, make a living. And my husband, the girls' dad, was a truck driver.
Mhm.
So I had to have it all together.
Mhm. Because he
And
wasn't home a lot?
you know,
So was it just you raising the girls pretty much?
I raised the girls.
Gotcha.
And
How was that? Was that pretty stressful?
no,
No?
they were used to grandma because we went down there every summer so they could spend some time with and before she left them.
Mhm.
And they were used to grandma. And it
Mhm.
was fun to have them down there to see what grandma was like.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But Samantha was big enough to remember. Lois was not big enough to remember grandma.
Mm.
I think Samantha was 2 or 3. I mean, she remembered. And I got pictures of her sitting on grandpa's lap and they called him Missouri Man. I don't know for sure what the reason that came to that, but Misery Man, Mom. We going to see him?
Misery man.
But they loved him.
Yeah.
And he would always bite him. They called it biting. He had a beard
Mhm.
and rubbed it on him, and they thought he was biting them.
Scratching them.
Yes. But
Yeah.
it was biting to them,
Right.
and it was cute. They were so cute.
So, where did you raise your girls at then? Was that in Missouri too, or was it back in
Iowa,
Iowa?
back
Yeah,
up in Iowa.
yeah,
We we had a house in Gilbertville.
okay. And is that where you met your husband at?
No, he was a truck driver,
Okay, yeah,
and he come out of Canada,
okay,
and he was a truck driver, and we met. Fell in love, I guess, and went on with our lives, and then one day, it had to have a break here,
yeah.
and so we, divorced.
Were the kids out of the house by this time?
No, not yet. But
Yeah,
they didn't know him really anyway, so
right, just because he was on the road all the time?
yeah. And
Yeah,
when he was home, he was somebody fun to be with.
yeah.
Didn't have to carry the rules. I did.
So you had to be the bad guy.
I was a bad guy.
Oh, yeah,
But
yeah,
and they were good girls. They was really good. I
mhm.
never had trouble with school. The only trouble I ever had is they liked boys.
Yeah, well, that's pretty normal, you know? That's
They
normal
liked
stuff.
boys. Crazy.
Yeah.
And then he died.
Mhm.
He had a massive heart attack.
Young or old?
I would quite older,
Yeah.
I think. And we
Mhm.
were divorced for quite a while, and he had massive heart. He stepped out of the truck and dropped and was
Mm.
dead. And if
Mhm.
you have to leave, that's the way to leave.
Yeah, quick and easy.
And he never came out of it. And he
Mhm.
was gone by the time they said he hit the ground.
Right.
And then I met Leon,
Yeah. Leon, love of your life.
the love of my life. But I knew Leon since I was 10, but he was married to Mary. She died
Mhm.
after the girl's dad died. And we just started dating.
Yeah. Was he in Iowa then, Leon?
Yes, he was in Florida. He was retired from John Deere's, and he was in Florida. And he would come up because his mom and dad was up
Mhm.
here in the Port City.
And that's where you met Leon?
Yep.
And then, cause didn't you live in Florida for a while?
Yeah, I went back with him.
Oh, you did? So you met and then you're like,
The
"Alright,
girls
I'm going down."
the girls were gone.
Well, the girls were old enough, they're living their own life.
They had their families and they
Yeah,
were gone.
yeah,
So I just packed it up and went to Florida with him.
right. How long were you in Florida?
Oh, good. I worked for Winn-Dixie down there because I just stayed in the grocery business. I worked for Winn-Dixie down there, and that's a Kroger's, and had to be a good 6 months. And then Leon started to get sick.
Mm,
And I said, I want to get closer to home. So we have family that can help Leon. So we went, he said, I'll move to Arkansas, Moreton, Arkansas. I said, okay. So we sold the house, bought a house in Moreton, Arkansas, went up there, and we still were 8 hours away. And then when we come up, he went to Iowa City. And the hospital really did, he had a Japanese woman that was amazing.
mhm,
She was only like 4 foot tall, and he was 6'7". But she would hug him, and when she greeted him, she would hug him when he left, and she just loved him. And I loved it because she was so kind to him.
mm.
He had leukemia. That's a very painful cancer.
Did he have it long then?
No,
No?
when we moved to Arkansas, I thought they told us we had 5 years, after, and he died 10 days later.
Okay.
And I don't think you can tell the distance of death or life.
Yeah,
But anyway, she even came to his funeral.
really?
Yeah, and she says, "I don't do this, but I needed to do it for him."
Mhm,
And I loved her.
mhm.
Just a little tiny woman.
Yeah. Man, so I wanna slow this down a little bit because
Yeah,
we
I'm
just
I
unpacked a lot there really
I'm quite old
quickly.
here.
Yeah, really quickly. Well, I feel like you're just like we're blowing through this. Uh, Leon, how long were you together with Leon?
Last Monday, it was 21 years.
You're saying he's been gone for 21 years.
10 years.
Oh, he's been gone for 10,
10 of the years,
but you were, yeah, together for 21.
11.
11.
And
Yeah, but
they
you
were,
loved hard.
oh my God. He said he loved me since I was 10. He
Mm.
said I was a pain in his ass then, now I'm a pain in his ass again.
Uh,
You'd love him. He was just so kind. He was just a kind human.
So, I thought didn't he build your Reiki room?
Yes, he did.
So when did he I guess I missed that part of the story. When you guys got to Iowa, how long were you in Iowa then?
He we got here in 2013, and he said, We gotta go home. I'm getting worse. and I need you to be home so you have family around you.
Mhm.
And I said, okay, we're moving again. I've always wanted to go back home.
Mm,
Now I am. So we bought a farm.
mhm.
And I said, I have to have a Reiki room.
Uh-huh.
And he says, we'll take the garage connected to the house and I'll make that your Reiki room.
Yeah.
And he did. He was so
Andy.
handy. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what
He,
I got out of him.
yeah. He could take anything, make it.
Right.
Well, he was an engineer for John Deere's.
That helps.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it for many years.
So with the Reiki, how did Reiki come into your life? Where did that happen? So we had lightning. You are learning from grandma as far as being a medicine woman
Yeah.
and working with different medicines and this and that. How did you stumble? Because, there's a Native American way, the Red Road, and then there's the Japanese way, Reiki.
Which
So,
doesn't collide.
yes, we got Cherokee and Japanese. Let's go there. How did we get into the Reiki?
When Leon died,
Mhm.
I, no, right before he did, I started saying I'm missing something in my life. I see things, but they're black and white. I don't know why I can't get color to come in. Grandma was gone. I couldn't ask her that.
Mhm.
Why can't color come to me? And I never seen color. And so a friend of mine said to me, try Reiki. And I said, tried 3 different people to go to, and none of them suited me. And so then somebody told me about Sister Marlou down at Prairie Wood. And I said, okay, one more time.
Mm,
And so I went down there, and there she was, the one that was going to teach me and turn on the color.
mhm.
And Reiki turned on the color, and I could see in color now
Are you talking about color in your visions or color?
in my vision.
Yeah, and in your actual vision.
Mm-hmm.
So from 7 until however late,
Well,
every
27 years ago,
so yeah, you were just seeing in white and black.
black and white. I called it black and white TV.
Really?
Yeah,
So you can even see, like, how was it at driving at a stoplight, seeing a red and green light?
I could see them. I could see
Yeah.
color in the physical world, but when I had a vision or if I
Yeah.
picked up something from another human,
Oh,
it
okay, I'm
never
following you
was in
now.
color.
Yeah, yeah, your visions, what you're picking up, like, as far
Yeah,
as your
the aura around you, I couldn't see the
yeah,
color of the aura.
yeah,
Yeah,
clairvoyance.
and I could not get it. Why
Mhm.
can't I see the color? I see the aura there, but it's all just smoke looking to me.
Right.
And they said maybe you needed something else to turn it on. And so that's when I met Sister Marlou,
And she was at Prairie Woods?
Perrywood, and she
Yeah.
taught me Reiki 1. And she told first thing she ever said to me, "You're the one. They told me you were coming."
Mm.
And I said, "Okay."
Yeah. Mhm.
Here I am.
Yeah.
And I took them from her.
So, Sister Marlou, let's go into her a little bit.
She's gorgeous.
Sister Marlou, so is she a nun, I take it, because 'cause you're
Yes.
calling her Sister Marlou.
Yes, she was a nun
Where did she practice out of then?
at Prairie.
Really?
I did not know much about Sister Marlou.
Was she, though, Catholic, or was
Yeah,
she was?
yeah, Prairie is Catholic.
Okay.
And that's when the nuns were allowed to come in and teach.
Really?
They only was allowed for maybe 10 years.
How
And
did
not,
Sister Marlou get into Reiki?
I never asked her.
Well, I'm just wondering because, I grew up Catholic
Yeah.
and never heard of Reiki, and I feel like even some people, some Christians and Catholics are scared of Reiki,
Yes,
but you were taught Reiki
from a
from a
nun.
nun.
And there was 2 or 3 of them teaching it down there.
Yeah.
And she gradually, when I became a master and I finished with her, she gradually moved down to Hot Spring, Arkansas.
Okay.
And because they had a retreat, and she liked to dance, and she could teach dancing and Reiki down there and not feel shut off. She
Mm.
went to a retreat to teach down there, and then she got sick, and she went across Wisconsin to the nuns' retirement home.
Mm. Is she still around?
She's still here, but not really.
Yeah.
Not like I talked to her on the phone once, and it was just
Not the same.
no.
Yeah. She's
And
holding on.
she's in a wheelchair.
Mhm.
She can't. Well, she's here for a lesson, some kind.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, but she hasn't left yet.
I think I still can't get over the fact that You learned Reiki from a sister.
I know.
Like, not just like a sister as in your friend, like a sister that's an actual
No.
nun from a church.
Yeah.
When I've been to a lot of different, uh, organizations, I guess, for church, like Catholic, Presbyterian, Lutheran, a church for everybody. I mean, there's so many different Christianity churches out there now, brands that I don't even know who's
Yeah.
what anymore.
I don't
But
either.
I've never heard of any of them talking about Reiki.
Yeah.
And even though, Jesus was a healer and essentially was doing Reiki too,
Yeah.
but I've just never heard of this. So that's where I'm, I guess, kind of blown away that you learned from Sister Marlou, which is just amazing.
Yeah, and there was 2 other ones I knew were teaching down there,
Mm-hmm.
well, as long as they could, but when the father got changed over this Prairie Wood, Reiki got stopped.
Really? Why is that?
I don't well, as I understood that he didn't think the nuns should be doing this. That
Mm.
wasn't their purpose.
What year was this?
Well, I became a master, what, was 27 years ago,
So probably 1990.
78.
Yeah,
Yeah. I had
yeah,
to do the numbers in my head fast.
yeah.
And so it was right after I came a master.
Mhm.
And that's when she left and went down to the retreat.
Did she pretty much get kicked out then?
No, she could have stayed, but they have to, priest has to keep them there.
Right,
Or she had to go back to the organization,
right.
the head place, wherever that was. But she didn't want to.
Alright, I just had an idea. So, I was just listening to you talk about this, and it just makes me question religion because, well, 1, let's go back to, like, the '50s where women weren't allowed to vote,
Yeah.
and then you go to like the '70s and '80s, and they're starting to get some rights. They're going to work now. I mean, even in the '50s, women just stayed at home and took care of the children, and that was it. The man's off doing whatever he's doing. '70s, '80s, women start getting jobs, start becoming more powerful.
Right.
But here we're talking not very long ago, 25 years ago,
Yeah.
still, which I mean, the '50s was 75 years ago, and we're talking 25 years ago.
Mhm.
Women still aren't in control of religion. You don't have women that are priests or
No.
saying sermons still. It's still the man.
Yep.
But then you can have a woman as our governor in Iowa or a woman running for president.
Yep.
But the Christianity, the religion way is still against women and
Yeah.
control. So that's where I'm like, still, I don't know. I had an epiphany thought there. Like, is that ever going to change where women are now the priests, or saying the
I think it will.
sermons,
I
and
really do.
saying,
They're deacons now. They
right.
they guide
Yeah.
during the mass,
Yeah.
so why wouldn't it?
I don't
They
know.
never were deacons neither,
No, it's
but they are
very
now.
still closed off
Yeah.
to women. It's very not in control. And I know a lot of our listeners out there are Christian and see that, but me saying this is nothing against Christianity. Just think about that next time you go to church. So about women,
Mhm.
if you are a woman and your rights too, and
Yeah.
what power you have. And I mean, as in Sister Marlou, if the roles would have been different, who knows? Maybe she would still be at Prairie Woods, still
Yeah.
teaching Reiki, and maybe Reiki would still be more, I don't know.
Accepted.
Yes,
Good.
accepted
Accepted.
because, it sounds to me this priest came in and was like, well, okay,
Yeah.
we've had enough here, guys. You're gonna go down south here. You're going to this
You're
organization
going back
and
to the
retreat.
church.
Yeah, and we're gonna just allow our sermons as because we're having too much stuff going on with this
Mhm.
Reiki.
He didn't
So
last long there, though.
yeah,
He left after a short term he put in there, and they do have medicine. You went down there, didn't you go to,
that's where I went to the sweat lodge.
yeah,
Was at Prairie
because
Woods.
he
Yeah,
changed they got a new one again, but
yeah.
Reiki's not back in there.
No, I know. I've seen that.
You can't learn Reiki
But they're
there.
doing meditations there,
Yes.
and they're doing yoga
Yeah.
and a few other things there. So I think it'll be coming back. It's coming
Oh,
around.
yeah.
Yeah, I can see it. Uh, so when Sister Marlou went down, you became a Reiki master. Where were you at in your practice with it then? When did you start teaching and when did you start doing this on many clients, I guess.
I was doing it on clients by then,
Yeah,
and I was doing it in Prairiewood yet, because Sister Malu would say, "Ask Sandra to come down," and there was one other woman, and I remember her name, but she was doing it too. They'd call us and say, "We need a Reiki treatment down here,"
yeah.
and I would,
Mhm,
and they paid us to do it,
mhm,
so I did, and then gradually it was done, but I was doing it right out of my home, and I had a home in Trail, Iowa.
mhm,
I lived there for a while,
mhm.
you know, and then, I met Leon, moved on again.
Did you see a lot of challenges,
Mm.
with doing Reiki and all this stuff
Oh, yeah.
during that time?
It was very, "Don't tell anybody."
Mm,
"Why are you coming to me then?"
yeah.
They were coming more, they thought they were going to have a psychic reading. I hate that
Oh,
word psychic,
yeah.
but and I said, "You get a Reiki treatment," and I will.
So were you kinda doing that though as far as advertising or, like, because people are coming to you again for psychic reading or
Mhm.
mediumship,
And it
but
was word of mouth.
yeah, but then you were just doing Reiki too after that?
Yep, that was all, I was just doing Reiki.
Yeah. You weren't advertising though, you were a
Nope,
medium or psychic.
nope, it was word of mouth that in the groups of women that was, there was a lot of women groups that.
Right, that's how even Chelsea, I think, met you
Yep,
was I mean, I think my sister's seen you way before Chelsea did,
yes.
and I didn't even know about you, and then Chelsea was the same way, I guess it was all word of mouth that, you know.
And I believed, because of Thor, my guide, he said, "You just do it,
Mhm,
and I'll bring them to you." And
mhm,
I believed him,
mm.
and he did. I did one in prayer that it was storming outside, and I didn't like lightning for a reason,
As one should.
and it would crackle during her thing. And she was so gifted as a woman, and I can see her laying on that table, and all of a sudden there was a big crackle, and all the lights went out in the house. And she sat straight up and she says, "Their hair." And I didn't know who she was talking about, and I had to learn who they was that she kept talking about. But it was I had candles going, and my cat got up on and laid on her, and all of a sudden, just everything was out.
Mhm.
And she sat up and goes, "They're here." And that was scary. I
Yeah,
couldn't figure out who she was talking about.
yeah, did you?
She told me who she was talking about. She says, "It's my guide and your guides, and
Mhm.
its ancestors. They're here."
And
And
this was during a Reiki treatment?
yeah,
Yeah,
the last one I ever did in there.
at this place at in
Yeah, in
Traer.
Trail.
Can you unpack that a little bit? Like, was it for her? Was it for you, these messages?
It came from her to her to go to me.
Yeah.
"You'll be leaving here," she
Mm,
told me, and I thought, "I'm not leaving here." And
mhm.
then I was working, I had to continue working for a time. I had to support myself. And then I met Leon. And I went on because I had to make a living. And that's what kept my Reiki quiet. And then I met more women that were so involved with it.
Did you ever feel like okay, so let's rewind here a little bit. 7 years, and then, how many years we just rattled off here. As I'm going through my journey, we have to live in this 3D world and do our jobs and our
Right?
tasks and raise our families and pay our taxes and all that
Right.
other stuff, you know? Did you ever feel any pull as far as like, because you're seeing things, you're talking with spirit,
Right.
you're doing Reiki, but then also you're living your 3D world job, working at the grocery store,
Yep.
taking care of your girls, taking care of Leon, all this stuff. Did you ever feel any pull where you're like, you felt like your spirituality part was shutting down? Or maybe that you're like, I've had enough of this grocery job. I'm going to start doing this. Did you ever feel like that pull where I feel like most of us have, where we're like too much on one side versus the others?
I don't know. I was pretty stable about working. I was
Mm,
kind of a workaholic.
mhm,
And so I stayed in it for 33 years.
mm,
That's a lot of years to have behind you.
mm.
And I probably wouldn't have left if it wasn't for Leon. And I told him, I said, "When you can't take it anymore, being alone," because I was scared of him falling,
Mm.
I said, "You tell me to come home and I'll retire." But I could have retired 3 years before I retired.
Okay.
And he said, "On May 1st, come home." And I quit my job. I went in and quit. And they understood because I told them I was going to do that.
Right. You gave him forewarning, it
And
wasn't like you
when
just
I was
out of the
hired.
blue, like, "Hey, I'm done, sorry."
So
Yeah,
I'm leaving.
yeah.
Yeah, because it was 2 years I worked at Fairway in Independence. And then I went in one day and said, "I'm done."
Mhm,
And they when I got hired, I told them
mhm.
I'd be leaving some soon, and they missed me.
Yeah, for sure.
I loved it.
For
But I
su
loved working. I met so many people, and I got to talk about Reiki,
Mhm.
and people came and saw me because they believed in it.
Do you ever when you're talking to people, like, back then or even now, like, when you bring up Reiki, do you feel awkward, like, around them where they're, like, judging you of
Yeah.
yeah, now you're just
Usually they come to me because somebody said something.
yeah,
You know what she just said happened to me, and it did? And it's not like I pick things like that up all the time. Mainly it's for growth, not for
yeah,
hocus pocus.
right, for sure.
And Reiki turned the color on. I could see it around everybody. And I could see a lot of little worms in their breaking of their color.
Mhm,
And I always wondered why,
mhm.
because it wasn't complete yet.
So, how did you get into teaching Reiki? Because there's a one thing I mean, yes, for all the listeners out there with Reiki, there are levels going through Reiki, like on learning Reiki 1 for yourself, 2 is practicing on clients, and so forth. But when you become a Reiki master, now you can teach Reiki.
Right.
But how did you get into because some Reiki masters, and I feel like more than not, many don't like to teach. Many just want to finish a Reiki master just so they can be done and say, I completed my final journey with Reiki.
Right.
But that's where I'm getting at with teaching is it's not for everybody. And how did you get into teaching or what was your calling for
Sister
teaching?
Malu.
Yeah, she was pushing you on it?
Yeah. She said to me, to do a attunement on somebody, which is something you get at every Reiki level.
Mhm,
She said, break this down. It's a 30-page thing. Make it a one sheet page.
mhm,
And that's where it started.
mhm,
And then she said, could you write how we teach Reiki 1? And I looked at her and I said, well, yeah. And she make a hand guide for it. Sister Malu. She
mm,
knew where I was going.
mm,
And, she was around a long time while I was a master. So I wrote
mm,
for it,
mhm.
each level.
Yeah.
Because she said, well, I think you go on now and write the next one.
Ah,
And I've improved them over the years. And she
uh,
had me teach with her.
okay. So it started with her.
It started with her. She
Yeah.
said, will you assist my class?
Mhm.
I'll give you an attunement. And I was a junkie. I
Yeah.
wanted another attunement.
Were you nervous your first class?
I was with her.
Yeah.
She made everything easy. There
Mhm.
was not, no.
Yeah.
But she was always there, and then she'd say, "Now I'm gonna have my student teacher come in and talk." And she just threw me in the water, and I thought, "Okay, fine."
Well, it reminds me of you and me even, like, when I got
Uh-huh.
mine, did some teaching with you, and then eventually now I broke away and
Yeah.
doing my own teachings, you
I
know?
I taught you the same way she taught me,
Exactly.
she would say.
Yeah.
Just jump.
Yeah. So what's your plans then now for the future? Keep teaching Reiki
And I
and
love to teach,
you love to teach?
and that's part I really like. I like to give the treatments,
Mhm.
but then I brought a lot of Native American in. I
Mm,
have a medicine, wheel that's for drumming. I
mm.
love that, and, I've even worked Native American into the
Into the Reiki.
teaching.
Yeah, yeah. Well, for sure. I mean, and that's important to know for people out there, and I say to my students as well, like, here's the guideline, here are the rules, here are the symbols. Now, but make it your own
Yes,
because we're all different and we
forget
all
that word
bring
from.
something different to the table, where I'm not Cherokee, but I bring some other things and I've learned different,
Mhm.
cultures and stuff too that I'll bring in a little twists. But even our like mutual friend Bill, he learned from his teachers. They were Apache
Yes.
and I forget what Ted, I think, had a little something in him. Doesn't matter. But he learned the Native American way too and incorporated the Reiki in with the Native American way.
Yeah,
It's very like that. But
it's a lot alike,
mhm,
and I never knew that.
yeah,
And I think the reason I couldn't see color was so I would go on.
mm,
If I saw color, I never would have went to Reiki.
for sure. For sure. It was something that awoke and shook something in you
Yeah.
to, and I've said this to many people out there as far as Reiki too. It's a great stepping stone
Mhm.
to learn your gifts, learn who you are, and to begin the healing process of your own self.
Your
That's
own
why
self.
I was so attracted to it was, we all live in a high pace world where we're always on our phones, we're always chasing the next dollar, we're not taking time for ourselves to look within and to see really what's going on.
But remember, we didn't have the phones yet when
Mhm.
I was learning to teach.
Yeah, it was
So,
very slow pace.
we had a phone in the house, Sister Ma Lou's Reiki room,
Yeah. And
but
now it's just like,
everybody has them.
uh-huh,
It's totally different.
right. But once people start, they experience that first Reiki session and they feel lighter. The stress maybe isn't as intense as it normally is. And then they pursue, oh, I want to learn Reiki 1. And that's where I noticed with me and my students as well that it starts awakening these other gifts inside
Mhm.
of you where we're all not the same. You're different than me, I'm different than you. But what it does is Reiki is a great stepping stone for unlocking your true potential.
And don't you think it's for our religion?
All,
Yeah,
yes.
that's what I like
Yeah.
about Reiki.
Yes.
It doesn't leave out Native American, it doesn't leave out Buddha.
Yeah, Christianity. Yeah,
None.
everybody's doing it
Yeah,
as far as religions go and cultures go,
yeah.
you know?
Japanese, give it to us.
Yeah, yeah. It's very and one thing too, as you get into more energy work, Reiki's very, very gentle, and it has its own intelligence where it goes where it needs to go. It's not
Yes.
like you're forcing energy somewhere or anything like that. It's just very light and loving and easy breezy.
Yep. And if you have never had a Reiki treatment, just get one
Mhm.
and you tell us
Yeah,
because we can't really tell you what you're going to feel
right.
because we're all individuals,
And we're all different.
definitely different.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Wow. So with the Reiki and the I know you don't like being called the psychic or medium or anything like that. Did
I've
that
eased up on that.
Yeah, did that enhance after, learning Reiki?
Yes, it got the strongest I've ever seen it.
Yeah.
I didn't know it could do what it does. At first, it scared me because I thought, am I crazy?
Well, I think many spiritual beings say that to themselves at one point or another. Am I crazy or, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I didn't have my teacher anymore.
Mhm.
I couldn't ask her if I was crazy.
Right.
I started going to different fairs and meeting people that could answer me, no, you're not crazy.
Just like-minded individuals.
Yes.
Yes, so that you could be understood and
Yeah.
heard.
Yes. Be closest to normal that I could know of.
Mhm.
And it was how I learned. And there's a lot of people out there, and some you should maybe not stay with, but some
Mhm.
move on.
Mhm.
And then I would never stop teaching. I love
Mhm.
to teach.
Mhm. Is that your favorite even over giving Reiki?
Yes.
Yeah, teaching.
I love to see how they grow and how they become this beautiful flower that didn't bloom yet. And some people repeat their Reiki.
Yeah.
And I have one lady, her name is Lou.
Mhm.
She's my little star right now. She's a master, but
Mm.
she's now going for level 3. And
Mhm.
she's been repeating it for a year,
Mhm.
every level, and she's blossomed. She's like a sunflower that opened up.
Yeah. Well, that reminds me of, like, anything in this world, um, like Reiki, we're you on that topic right now. Do you feel like when people like, she wasn't using it prior to repeating her 2nd round, because Like, I feel like with myself even, if I'm doing something a lot and continue doing it a lot daily or whatever, it becomes stronger.
Yeah.
My connection becomes stronger with it, and it just becomes a part of me essentially, versus some people, again, we get in such a high paced world where I'm not going to do it today. I don't want to do Reiki
Yeah.
on myself. And they don't, then one day turns into they haven't did it for 6 months. And now they forget how to do it because they haven't been using it,
Yeah.
and playing with it. No different than drawing or painting a
Right.
picture. If you're not using it and you're not continuing to do your practice, you start losing your ability.
One thing she told me was the reason I asked her, why do you want to do this over? She goes, I feel I lost my way. I
Mm,
want to find the track that I owned.
yeah,
And she says, I can't be better if I don't start again from the ground and come up again.
for sure.
So I said, okay. And she
Hmm.
was my first one. Now I have 3 people doing repeats.
Hmm.
And that's because I told people what she was doing. They said, I feel that way.
Mm,
Then do it again.
yeah.
Your choice.
Yeah, because again, we're all different,
Yeah.
and yeah, we're all having different challenges every day.
She said, life got in the way. Life got
Mhm,
in the way, she said.
mhm,
And now she's still working because she's young enough to have to still do that.
mhm.
And but she's taking this now, repeating it.
Right. Well, and I think what people don't understand, what that I run across too, I think a mutual friend of ours said that to me as well. She's like, "Well, I'm having a hard time meditating, and I haven't did Reiki for months because I don't have time. My head's not in the right space for it.
They
I just,
don't feel it anymore.
yeah, I don't,
That's a big
right, I
thing.
don't feel it, or I'm just, they're stuck in grief too." And I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, wait! Everything you just said. Now is the time you need to do it the most. Now is the time you need to be taking time for yourself." Because what people don't understand, guys, and this is what I'm saying out there, it's no different than going to the gym. You just can't go to the gym one day and expect to have a six pack and be jacked. It doesn't work like that.
Expect to be
Yeah.
like him.
Yeah. You have to work at it. You have to practice it
Yes.
day in and day out. No different than meditation. No, and then what happens though is now the day-to-day grind that we're in, all that, fear and crazy chaotic world that we live in, it makes it easier to navigate through that chaos and what's going on
Yep.
because you're working on yourself. Where we've talked about the 3D and 5D
Mhm.
and how you're in there permanently in 5D because you're coming out of it a
Yeah.
state of love. You're working on it every day.
Every day.
Where me, I will bounce in between 3D and 5D because I'm living in this chaos where maybe your world's a little bit more gentler right now,
It is very gentle.
where I'm raising a family and running these businesses and doing this stuff. And it's like, I need to just, but what Reiki does for me, and this is my point I'm trying to get across, is it allows me to be quiet. It quiets my mind so I don't freak out as much. I don't have a mental breakdown. I don't start crying when something is too tiring for myself, because I've worked on myself already for that day. And I know it's going to be another day tomorrow,
Yeah.
and my head is in a right spot,
Yeah.
So that's with that being said, everybody and all of our listens out there, all you got to do is take a minute, maybe 2 or
Yeah.
5 minutes a day for yourself.
Yep.
Gather yourself. Take a little minute for yourself to breathe, to
Yep.
relax. So when that stress happens, in those challenges where everybody's losing somebody every day, and we're all have our own battles we have to fight, this just makes it easier.
It definitely does. And I've got great grandkids, and they're now starting to do it.
Mm,
And I'm thought I never thought in my lifetime would I see great grandkids do Reiki. And I got Addison,
yeah.
and she is asking, "Why am I seeing this, Grandma?" And I have to stop like last night and talk with her because she was scared of it.
Yeah.
And I remember being scared.
It's natural.
Yeah, she's only 15. Of course you're scared.
Well, and for all of us out there with the feared and scared, being scared of something, we're typically scared and fear stuff we don't understand.
Yes.
You know,
Right
so
there.
if you have a teacher like you and can get that message across to her. Because a 15-year-old, how you talk to a 15-year-old is going to be completely different how you talk to me.
Oh, yes.
So you have to jump in and show them how to do that. But the fact that you're doing this with your great grandchildren, your grandchildren, your daughters, is remarkable.
My daughter Samantha is
Yeah,
level 3 now.
yeah. Do you find it's easier as the generations go on?
Oh, yes.
Like your 15-year-old versus like your daughter or even grandchildren. I feel like the younger
Mhm.
children, it's just more accepted and easier for them to learn.
Yeah, they're not in this box that you can't bring Reiki into. We were in a box. We were told God-filling, and I love God, but you don't bring that hocus pocus in here. Mother's famous word, hocus pocus.
Yeah.
She always said that. I think that's hocus pocus. We don't do that anymore to them. And so she wants to know. Well, it's just like, you have 2 sons.
Mhm. Yeah,
I call them my grandkids too.
yes. Well, I think with that being said, like it's just becoming more accepted. More and more people are waking up. More and more people are realizing I am you and you are me. If I talk nasty behind your back or this and that, it's no different than saying something bad about myself.
Yes.
So we're starting to realize that we just all want to be treated equally. And just like Jesus wanted,
Mm,
treat your neighbor as yourself,
yeah.
like just be kind. And
Mhm.
it's not like we're trying to do hocus pocus on anybody, you
You're
know?
not going to forget that, are you?
Well, I love that movie.
I love the movie.
Yeah.
I watched both of them now, but
Mhm.
that was just something my mom always said.
Mhm.
Reiki's hocus pocus.
The point being, you didn't get into this and no different than me because I see so many similarities between us.
And I see me teaching the way Marlou taught me
Exactly.
and was shocked that I was doing that.
Yeah. We didn't get into this to do hocus pocus on people. It was
No.
to help ourselves to
Yes.
heal. And then I think some of the people, or I feel at least, that have done some of the deepest healings and work on themselves, it's our calling to give that back to humanity, to help another, to teach another how they can do it and learn it themselves. And eventually they spread it too, to
Yeah.
help another person.
Do you think also that you went through all the traumas that you went, and I know your traumas.
Hmm.
You had to go through them, but how could you help somebody else?
Yeah, I had to experience them. I
Yes.
had to learn from them.
Yes.
So then I can drop down to when somebody's going through that addiction, when somebody's going through that lost loved one. I know how they feel. I can
Mhm.
feel it so deep in my bones, but also now I can help them navigate. I'm the guy holding the flashlight now
Yes.
and helping them navigate through their journey and help them, through the other side to get through that dark times, to come through the light times. That's why we're doing all of this. Eh,
Amazed about how you become this light that I could see when I met you. I'm amazed by it, but you're so much a light in this world.
So are
And
you,
I'm
Sandra. I
so
mean, you're
proud
the
of you.
light turning on. I
I
think
just want to turn the switches on.
you are the bridge. I've told you this many
Yeah.
times for many of our soul tribe family, for many of the family friends in our community, you're connecting and pointing people where they need to be. And then I think for me, when somebody sees something in somebody and tells them and reminds them of how bright my light is, all that does is increase my light and increase your light,
Yes.
and it pushes me, it nudges me to go do the things that I'm meant to be called to do versus of like, what does she see in me? No different than Sister Marlou with you. She's seeing, you're the one. You're
Yeah.
going to be teaching and doing this.
Yeah. She told
Whether
me.
you've seen it or not at that time, but now you can reflect back
I
and be
thought she
like, yeah, sometimes when you said it to me, it was like "Oh, Justin, you're gonna be doing some pretty awesome things." The fuck is she talking about? Like, I am not, and
I know, but I saw it,
yeah,
and you're doing exactly what I saw. And I thought that's verification for me,
yeah,
and I know you're now going to feed it on, and
mm,
there's somebody else that will come along, and I will help, but it will never be another you. They
mhm,
already told me that. You
mhm,
were that one light. Everybody's got to have one light like that.
mhm. Yeah, that you turn on.
Yeah.
It's just so oh, I'm just, like, thinking I'm watching it of, like, a light switch. You're just like, "It's got a dimmer switch," and it's like, this one doesn't have a dimmer switch. You just it's bright."
Yeah, you did that.
Yeah. No,
And I think Reiki is another thing that people don't realize.
mhm.
Reiki's love.
It is.
Reiki's not jealous ever.
Uh-uh.
There's no jealousy. If I can't help somebody, of course I'll say, I think you should talk to Justin.
Yeah.
Or I think they should talk to Teresa. Or I've
Mhm.
sent people to Ellen
Right.
because I see
Yeah.
the love.
Right.
And that's, you go where you can help.
And that's how we are in our
Yeah.
family. We don't think, "Well, oh, she's taking this client from me or this, that, or she's taking this buck for me," or anything like that.
Yeah.
We all know our gifts, and we know who shines in special departments
Mhm.
that are maybe a little bit more powerful than others.
Oh,
So why
yeah.
wouldn't we do that? Because again, at the end of the day, when we were looking for Reiki or we were trying to do this certain thing, it wasn't about magic or darkness or anything like that. It's
Hocus
true.
pocus.
Yeah, hocus pocus. We're on that word. It was about love.
Yes.
It's about helping people, and that's what we want to do,
Just love.
and most healers are that way. It's all about just love and just helping
Yeah.
humanity, you know?
And the ones that isn't,
Mhm.
don't go.
Right.
Because you have to realize that they're still learning their lesson,
They are.
and that's okay.
And everybody's on their own
Yeah.
pace, it's not
Not everybody's like Justin.
yeah, knock it off, Sandra.
It's true.
Sandra, what can you tell me about the future?
I can tell you that the future, what's going on in this world,
Yeah, yeah. Let's talk about real quick the collective, like what you see the future looking like in 10 years, where you see yourself at in 10 years.
and I'm going to live until I'm 103. And
103 years.
if you ask me why, it's because I was told that, and I believe what
Mhm.
Thor says.
Yeah.
And that I think we will be writing on things that instead of taking cars, we'll be writing on things that just take us to someplace. I don't know what they're called, but I can see man riding on them,
Mhm.
standing on them, holding on to them like they would a scooter.
Or like I'm thinking of a not a drone, but like a Segway.
Yeah.
It's like a little machine you hold on to or ride on and it's
It
got wheels
doesn't
and takes.
touch the earth.
Yeah.
It's above it
Okay.
and it just glides along.
Yeah.
And I think we are going, I also see that we also ride in round things that take us different places. And
Mhm.
that's just the physical part of it.
Right.
And I see so many people awakening
Yeah.
that we get the world back now.
Right.
And that's what I'm hoping with the showing me in pictures. It's coming back and it's going to be the way it should be. All this hate's got to stop.
Yeah. What about natural disasters and Mother Earth awakening too?
Mother Earth, she's never been asleep. This is something that I've always believed.
Mhm.
And a lot of people say, "Oh, don't throw the trash into Mother Earth if you don't want to hurt her. She's hurting." Not true.
Mhm.
She says, "Give me your trash so I can heal that. If I heal you, I heal me."
Mm.
And that's what I say about us. Tell me so I can help heal you so you can heal yourself.
Yeah.
And that's Mother Earth.
She's one of the greatest healers of all
Yeah.
time.
And the animals are going to be better.
Mhm.
I want the animals not to be hurting.
Yeah.
Especially the deer. I love deer.
Yeah. Well, with Mother Earth, I had this vision one time. I was out in the woods and it was spring and the dirt was like the frost was just coming out of the ground. And I'd like sunk my hands into Mother Earth and was crying and weeping because of what humanity has done to her as a
Yeah,
collective with the trash, with, building all these buildings and poisoning with all these chemicals and all these fires and everything. And I was just, I was going through a tough time during this vision and was sad of what even I had did to her, littering here and there and stuff.
and you shouldn't have.
Yeah, and, I was a kid and I didn't care,
Yeah,
that was the time I was going through that, so I didn't feel I guess during this vision, I was really sad and crying, and I remember her, like, roots on a tree wrapping me up, like, with these vines and smiling
yeah,
and winking at me saying, "I don't think you understand how resilient I am."
Yeah.
and how powerful she actually is, and
Mhm.
just a good example is during COVID. We were talking, they were doing like earth monitoring of the ozone and all the cars and chemicals and stuff that were in the air. And just for not driving for like, a month, what it did to like global warming, like our temperature for the world started to cool down. I mean, like almost a degree
Yeah.
just for not driving for one day. That's
Mhm.
how, again, resilient Mother Earth is, and that she's always here and always has our back.
And there's something else that I've really seen a lot of is these airplanes. Do you
Mm,
not think there's a lot of airplanes crashing?
mhm,
Because that's not what it's meant to be. We
mhm.
weren't meant to ride in big airplanes,
Yeah,
3 or 4 people in this other ship and go from place to place. We
mhm.
never were meant to do that. And I see them gradually eliminated, and it'll be better for the world. All that putting up in the sky.
What about like government and
Mm.
or religion, or do you see anything like that is changing 10 years from now?
The government, I thought about that many times, and we better be picking better than we're doing lately.
Yeah,
But
right.
they all have bad sides. I don't care who they are.
Oh, for sure. But I think about like we joke around, me and my son. He's like, "Dad, you should run for president." I'm like, "Well, I'm actually 35 years old now, so I could run. But the problem is, buddy, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a politician. I didn't go to school for any of that stuff." And I'm like, and it got me thinking. And I'm like, you know how much more honest our government would be if
Yes.
there were natural citizens like me or you, people that are actually in the day to day grind, not just a politician for life trying to take money from this and that organization to get this next vote for yes or no here and there,
Yeah.
but somebody that's actually genuinely kind, cares about humanity. Would you not want somebody like that running your country
I
or
would.
running the world?
I would.
Yeah, me too.
Let the money talk somewhere else.
Exactly. But that's what I'm saying. At what point do you see like humanity switching at that level? Because I can see it
I can.
where people aren't for the money anymore and or more about the exchange of energy and just a better collective of humanity, you know?
I believe it'll be before I leave.
Yeah.
I really think 'cause I had 30 years, so
Mm-hmm.
I do believe it's
A
gonna
lot
be.
can change in 30
Yeah,
years.
man.
I
Yes.
mean, look at 1999 to
Mm.
2025.
Yeah, look at me when I was born in 1952.
Yeah. What
Oh,
you've
yeah.
seen,
Yeah.
experienced.
Yeah, and I think it would change again
Yeah.
many times. And
Wow.
I think that's why these children are coming. They're
Mhm.
gonna change it
Oh, for sure, without a question.
because 'cause they're gifted.
Very
Children are
gifted.
so gifted.
Special.
Especially if they have a teacher to help them. I
Mhm.
know I've told you about Joshua, my
Mhm.
great-grandson.
Mhm.
He was afraid of spiders, and
Mhm.
his dad would kill him, and so finally I was with him, and he says, "Get the spider out of the toy box." So I went and got Kleenex, and I took the spider out of there, and I said, "We're gonna take it outside." He said, "No, squish it." No, everything has a right to live. Now the spiders live now
Mhm.
because we took it outside, and he says, "I let all spiders live," and I told dad he was wrong.
Something that simple.
Simple, change one thing.
Yeah.
And look what that boy did. He
Yeah.
was 4 years old, he's now going to be 8, and he says, "Don't kill that. It has a reason.
Yeah, I
God
have
said so."
I have that problem even my son yesterday went hunting with my father-in-law,
Who did your
and
son go to?
no, he was in school.
Okay.
I took him earlier this year, but on my way down, to go hunting with my father-in-law, it's like an hour and a half south, and I seen a white deer
Mhm.
I left at 3:30 in the morning to go down there, and, between our home and on the way down, a white deer was on the shoulder of the road, a buck. So pretty, I mean, it had, like, brown horns, but a white deer, and I'm like, "Huh, that's interesting, what are you trying to tell me?" So and then we go down, and we go down to the woods, get ready to go hunting, and this buck rolls in, and he had just gotten in a fight. He had 4 points on one side, and on the other side, it had just cleanly broken off, so he was hurting, and I could feel he was hurting, and he was looking at me again, I'm hunting, so, my son gives me crap for this. Well, why didn't you shoot him, Dad? I'm like, well, 'cause I talked to their spirit now. And if he's not ready to go this time, I'm not going to take a shot. And so I let him walk. And then about half hour later, I moved to a different location and I'm watching the squirrels and everything else. And all of a sudden I look behind me and there's this other buck, this like 6 point buck that's like 5 yards behind me. He sees me, I see him. He walks right in front of me and I have a perfect clear shot at him. And I'm got my bow ready and I'm looking at him and I like just take a moment for me and him just to like connect. And I ask him too, I'm like, are you the one? Are you ready? And he's like, no. And I'm like, okay. So I let him walk and he takes off walking. And at that point, I'm evaluating myself as a hunter and as who I am as an individual. And I couldn't help but notice the deep love I have for animals, just creatures, the trees, everything. And that there's a time for me to take an animal if I was in dire need and dying and just needed to eat. And I know without a doubt that buck would have said to me, take me,
Yeah.
you know, take me for your family. I will provide for you. But the fact that I'm hearing these voices from these animals, it's just a whole different level of connecting that prior, 10 years ago, without a doubt, I would have shot that deer, but I wasn't in tuned with myself and with these animals and my surroundings and everything. And like the spider,
Yeah.
you're teaching people about it.
One
And
at a
yeah,
time.
one at a time,
Yeah. I
you
love
know?
that he doesn't kill spiders no more.
Hmm.
And he doesn't call his dad.
Yeah. And it's not to say I won't take another animal again in my life
Yeah.
or not, but I like to have that communication with them. You provide for me, I'm going to provide for you. Again, it's very Native American way
Mhm.
of hunting. Those guys would do the same thing and use the heart, use the skin, use all the
Everything.
organs, use everything, the bones about the animal because the animal is providing for you.
Yeah.
It's not just I'm killing you so I can throw you on my wall and show you off to all my buddies. Like this is a very sacred thing. And I think once a lot of us, and to all you hunters out there, start thinking about this, you're going to see nature differently. You're going to see how resilient Mother Nature is.
My grandson Ronald hunts, and
Mhm.
he just got I look like a 10-point deer.
Mhm.
And I asked him, I says, "You tell me, because his dad has meat in
Mhm.
in his freezer. Says, you tell me what you do with that."
Mhm.
He says, "Well, I like to have the head."
Mhm.
And he says, "I donate it to the hungry."
Yeah.
And I thought, "What, Ronald?"
Mhm.
I was just shocked by his answer. And he says, "It's the same thing when I fish. If I get too many fish, Gilbert Belacco will clean them up and do everything that and donate them to the hungry."
Mhm.
I go, "Wow."
That's nice. I know a
I
lot
go,
of guys that too that don't even they hunt deer and they don't like them. I'm like, well, why do you hunt? They're like, why donate the meat? And I'm like,
"Yeah,
it's true. You know how many homeless people would love just some meat or
yeah,
whatever,
deer
charities.
jerky."
Yeah, yeah,
And I said, "Wow, I never knew that about you."
yeah,
And he says, "Yeah,
yeah.
it was so common." I
Hmm.
thought, "You guys are wakening up, aren't you?"
Yeah.
I like it.
Everybody is at their own pace.
Yeah,
And it's those small gestures,
and
those small wins that we need to recognize and remember to let each other know, how proud we are of each other for taking those steps.
yeah, and I told him, "The deer hide, what do you do with it?"
Hmm.
"Oh, it has to be donated all, but and they use the deer hide for other things." And I thought, "Wow," because I wanted the hide.
Yeah, I love deer hides. So soft.
I wanted the hide to make
Hmm.
drums.
Well, Sandra, we went a lot of places today.
Yeah, this was fun.
Yeah, do you have any final messages for our listeners?
Do something to wake up again now. It's time to wake up.
Mhm.
Just wake up. Come see one of us. We're all going there.
Where can people find out if they wanna reach out to you?
Star Sister Reiki. I'm on Facebook. Or
Facebook?
just go find me.
Yeah. Or
And
I have an email too, and if after listening to this podcast, if you can't get a hold of Sandra,
email.
yep, reach out to me. I will obviously point her or point you to her direction.
We want to do a class together. So
Yeah.
just go to him. Sit there and watch.
Mhm.
I love that part.
For sure, for sure. Sandra, it's been an honor just having you here and hearing your story today and talking about everything we just unpacked.
Yeah.
Um,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you more.
I love you more.
Be like Ellen say, impossible.
Impossible. All right. Well, you guys, all our listeners out there, thank you for listening today. I
Yeah.
hope this resonates with you. Share if it did or it hit home.
Yeah.
And we will be back here again next week.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning into today's episode. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. And remember, hit the like and subscribe button. And if you have any questions or anything, don't hesitate, reach out to us.